servers. So the issue, I think, is the architecture. The architecture that there's a central database where users store their information in order to share it with friends. And the user does not know what the provider does or what he will do with the data in future. And I think we need another architecture, and as you may think, this is based on XMPP. So here's, again, just a picture. I will compare it to another one later about social networks which have a central server. Every person can store the data on it. And that's the problem. We have a central place, which we don't want to have, but we want that data exchange is only between friends. So there is no party in between that has some, no part in between to store the data or to provide an API or whatever. So, and of course, all transmissions must be encrypted. I think that's clear. So the XMPP network consists of some servers in the internet which are only responsible for communication. I will later argue why I use XMPP and not some other peer-to-peer or whatever network. So, and each user can connect to one of the servers, gets an address and so on, and can connect to everyone else. It's an extensible instant messaging protocol, and it's not true peer-to-peer, which you might have expected when talking about privacy and friend-to-friend connections, for a simple reason that the XMPP networks can ensure communication between friends or peers, whatever, even if they are both behind packet filters, firewalls, routers, however you want to call it, which is, I think, common configuration for most people. And to go into details, you can't tell your friend to open a port, maybe, just as you do it for your file sharing software, maybe. Just in order to run a social network or to communicate with others. So I think we still need in an architecture like in the XMPP network that you always have a server where you can connect to in order to exchange messages. But the difference to servers in networks like Facebook or whatever is that the servers of the XMPP network don't have to know about the information you exchange. They just route the messages. And as you know, messages are always routed in the internet. So every router your message passes can read the message. So it doesn't matter that there is a special XMPP server besides all the other hops in the internet where your message came across. So we can use end-to-end encryption between friends. And PGP, you all know PGP, I think. We had some talks, or it's mentioned. Yeah, I think you know it. So, but there's one problem. PGP isn't widely used yet. For whatever reason, I think it's complicated to use, and I don't use it very often, and only if I send emails to friends where I know they use PGP. So if not, I even don't sign my messages. And I think the main challenge we have on the one hand is really to implement a user-friendly PGP support. I don't have an answer yet, but maybe some ideas we can discuss later. So my current prototype from the diploma thesis is just a social bookmark sharing application. So maybe like Delicious or Bipsonomy, if you know it. You can create bookmarks and tag them, and you can recursively crawl for tagged bookmarks in the network of friends. And this, can you see it? Okay, on the left you see the demo application which shows your personal network. Just a simple one. You have a few friends, and you can maybe see friends of friends, and you can search for tagged tagged bookmarks and get a list. It's a bit Google-like, I would say, or I think they've been the first one with a simple interface to be familiar to other users. And my idea, or what I want, is to take this prototype and build a social network library or whatever, or how you want to call it. Don't care about the Java stuff, and it maybe look ugly to some of you. Many people don't like Java, no discussion about that. It's an academic language using some... the main reason to use it was there have been a lot of libraries I could build up. So the Java 6 WebStart application is it, and it uses this Sesame RDF database. If maybe someone is also using the RDF stuff with Java, you know that. The SMAC API is an XMPP implementation, and the previews visualization toolkit is used for the social graphs. So, to come to my open challenges, how can a serverless network survive? So what happens if all contacts go offline? What do we do then? It's a bit difficult. We can do some caching strategies, but it's not easy to implement. It's ongoing work. And as I said, how can PGP be implemented in a secure but user-friendly way? That's really my main concern about all the stuff. So, and if you are interested, maybe to extend the current Java approach or to write another client, which can be maybe a web interface. So one idea is to have a local server which does the XMPP stuff and serves web pages to your local browser. Or what I really would like to see is an instant messenger extension, because I think many people are familiar with instant messaging software. Or maybe a Flash application could look a bit nicer than the Java stuff. Or a mobile application. I think, or the other way around, I saw a poster here on one of the doors showing some ideas about XMPP and location sharing or so. Did you recognize it? I don't know. Okay, I think for mobile application, it's really a killer application to share your location with friends. That's certainly something I don't want to share with any provider. So I don't want to have Google a track of my location during, don't know, or the whole time, or whole life maybe, just to know which friends of me, or friends of mine are near. So that I think that's something, especially for the mobile application, interesting. So, if you have any questions, thanks for your attention. Maybe some details, more technical details.
Hi.
Yeah.
I listened to your talk, and I was wondering why you didn't choose to peer-to-peer networks, because I think they scale a lot better. We have a lot of peer-to-peer technology developed. Like, for example, the Skype network, you can traverse NATs, that's no problem anymore. And I think data storage would be much easier, like using distributed hash tables. And so there's technologies for using that. So why do you think XMPP is a better choice?
I don't know, what's Skynet, sorry? Skype. Skype, okay. I don't know about the technology that Skype uses, but normally in peer-to-peer networks you have your situation that you try to connect to as many other clients as possible, yeah, right? So to get a high bandwidth, to get as much information as possible that are in the network. But I think you really want, for social networks, you really want to start at your friends. You want to connect to your friends first, and maybe you are not interested in what other people have, what other content is available in the network. But I'm interested, if you have a few minutes time afterwards, maybe you can tell me a bit what the advantages of Skype are. I don't know. Who's next? Who has a microphone?
I got a few suggestions, because you said you want to use GPG. GPG, which is XEP27, is already deprecated. And as you already said, key exchange is very complicated, and this is why there's work on other standards. There is e-session standards, which has been deferred because it is too complicated to implement. And there's now work on XTLS, and I think this would be the way to go for this. And there's work to make it very easy to verify the keys. The design is sort of to be as easy as possible, so that you can even instant message with your grandmother, and you just need to call her and verify a short string. That is how it's done in e-sessions as well. But unfortunately, there's no working XTLS implementation in any client yet, as far as I know. There's only e-session support in Gadgem. And yeah, it seems the e-sessions idea, which is very similar to how XTLS will work once it's finished, seems to be very easy to be used. And another advantage you get by that is XEP27 only allows you to encrypt the body of a message stanza, while e-sessions allow you to encrypt the whole stanza, and XTLS even allows you to encrypt IQ stanzas and other stanzas like presends. You can even send them directed then. And another suggestion I have is that you use PubSub, for example, to publish the list of friends, or to exchange photos, and etc.
Okay, thanks for your ideas. Yes, I know PGP is deprecated or not really usable in XMPP. So I just, for the first prototype, implemented my own PGP add-on. But the idea to also encrypt message stanzas and so, and IQ stanzas, it's a good idea. Thanks.
You pointed out your goal to share information only with friends.
Yes.
And I wonder about whether you consider friendship to be a transitive relation, that is, friends of friends are your friends too, and whether you consider it to be invariant over time, so that someone who has been your friend 3 years ago is still your friend.
Yeah, trust is a big issue. I don't know if you know the PGP trust model. It's not really used. It's also about transitive friendships and so on. For my bookmark sharing application, I count the number of transitivity, or however you want to call it. So you can skip at a certain degree, so maybe only 3 hops in your network of friends or whatever. So there's a difference between friends of friends and true friends, and direct friends, and you can maybe say 10 or more, a distance of 10 or more is too much for friends of friends transitivity, and I want to skip here or to break. So, yeah, sorry. You wanted to know who can decide the transitivity, yes? So who can decide when to skip in the chain of friends? First of all, the person who wants to give out information can decide if he really wants to give out the information to the one who's asking. So if you receive a query from one of your friends, you see who originally sent the query, so because it's signed by PGP, of course. And then you can decide if he may access the information or not. And on the other hand, if you send an information to you send a query to friends, you maybe don't want others to reach the query because it's too, you don't even want that other people know about the query you sent. Other questions?
I absolutely second your opinion about the PGP not being user-friendly enough. We're all techies here and pretty savvy with technology, but real users are not, and they are not able to use PGP in any way. So why do you insist on using PGP and not try to find some other way to encrypt data, like off-the-record encryption, which also reduces the one problem PGP causes, which is plausible deniability, where you have assigned